All right. Well, it's late night madness number two. I'm a little irritated. I had a great fucking day, right? I had a great motherfucking day. The wife was gone with most of the kids. She went up to Portland. I had only two kids home. They weren't really messing around or being bad. It was a great fucking day. And then I had the neighbor fucking knock on my door as I'm in the cunt stream. And the first time I've ever been there, mind you, which I ended up leaving. But the neighbor knocks on the door and he just acts like a complete piece of fucking total shit. And he's like, well, your fucking kids left this and this in my yard. And I literally go, okay, where exactly is the property line? Because me and my wife have been talking about this for a couple days now. Like, where exactly is our property line? And he just wigs the fuck out and picks up my kid's play structure and chucks it across the fucking yard and just starts yelling at me like, you're a piece of shit, fucking drunk alcoholic motherfucker. And I'm like, well, you're the one yelling, I'm not. As I pick up my kid's play structure and I carry it back, to my yard. And I'm not yelling at him. He's yelling at me, but calling me the drunk piece of shit and the asshole. Do you really think that's the way to, I don't know, talk to your neighbor? Exactly. I mean, me, myself, if he ever talks to me or my wife again, I'm gonna punch him in the fucking nose. I'm done. I sucked it up because I don't want to be kicked out. I own my house, but I don't own my land. You understand what I'm saying? I live in a park where my house is my own, but the land I pay rent on. And that's what we're arguing over, really, is where's the property line? And I asked a simple question, and I got treated like a piece of shit. And I am a little mad about that. Yeah, it pisses me the fuck off. Go ahead. Well, what say you in that type of situation? How would you handle it?
A baseball bat to motherfucker's dome. That's what the hell would have happened.
Yeah, see, and that's what I tried to tell my wife is, I was really cool about this. I didn't yell back at him. I didn't flip out. I didn't punch him in the nose. I literally grabbed my kid's play structure, set it down, called him an idiot, and I was like, yeah, I'm the drunk asshole, but you're the one yelling. And I literally looked over at my neighbors across the fucking area, and they're whispering to each other. You know what I mean? Like, this is now going to be the talk of the park. Mad has a beef with his goddamn neighbor. I don't need that shit, dude. I don't mess with these people. I stick to my own. I stay to my own. I take care of my kids, and I leave everybody else the fuck alone. What's wrong with that?
Not a goddamn thing.
But it seems like there is, because if you stick to your own and you keep to yourself like I do, then you always have people talking about you. Why? Because you keep to your own. You don't talk to them. So, you must be an outsider, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's really ridiculous to me.
I never saw the problem with being a fucking outsider.
Fair enough. Dade, what is up, brother? How are you doing? Common Sense Guy, would you like a link on Twitter? I'll send it out. Yeah, we're just hanging out, dude. My neighbor pissed me off. I had a great day other than that. And, well, Vatch's stream was entertaining, but I can only watch him play that game shitty for so long. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was horrible. My apologies.
Don't apologize.
Okay, so if you were in my position, you're being yelled at by your neighbor. What I did was I ignored him. I grabbed what he threw across the yard. I put it where it belonged, and I moved on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I did. What would you have done in my position?
Like I said, I would have beaten the ever-living fuck out of the guy and told him next time It's a bullet through your fucking skull.
Yeah, who do you think you are? No, he literally called me a bad parent, said my kids are pieces of shit, started throwing my own property across the yard, and all I did was, Pinoid, you're here. I was in the cunt stream with you. You know why I left? Because that neighbor came to my door. That's why I left. And what happened was, I was talking to you guys. He pounds on my door like a cop. So obviously, I jumped the fuck up. All right. And I open the door and he starts yelling at me. And I'm like, okay, I get it. My kids left some toys in your yard, but where exactly is the property line? That's what I said. And next thing I know, I'm a drunk piece of shit and he's throwing my property across the yard and acting like a fucking psycho. I mean, how am I the bad person in this scenario? I really don't. I can't play it out to where I am.
You didn't punch that motherfucker in the mouth. That's a problem.
That's the problem. That's what I told my wife I was gonna do, and she said, "Thank God you didn't." So
why?
That's where I'm standing. Because I have to live here. That's why.
So punch him in the fucking mouth.
He deserved it. I agree with you. But damn it.
They hit the motherfucker in the mouth. Like, yo, good fences make for good neighbors. If you ain't got a fence, punch that motherfucker in the mouth. Like it's like this, man. Like, you know, if you ain't the king of what the fuck you walk on, what the fuck's the point? Like, your children should be able to play how the fuck they want to.
Exactly. Yeah, no, and that's the thing. He's taking my kids' it wasn't my fucking plastic structure. I don't slide down the goddamn slide. This is my kids' stuff that he picked up and threw across the yard and then proceeded to call me a drunk piece of shit as I'm talking to him calmly and saying, dude, you're acting like a psycho. like literally. Like, man, you're acting like a crazy person.
Don't take the victim role in it. Yo, think about it like this, right? How would a black person react to that event? I'm sorry, man. I'm trying not to cough.
Oh, it's all good. I was smoking a bowl. How would a black person have reacted to that? Okay, if you're talking like Tupac or Biggie, they probably would have punched the guy in the face.
No, in general. Like, yo, in general, like somebody would have started wilding out and acting like a crazy person. They would have out crazied that person.
That's a fair point.
Kind of like dealing with a crackhead.
Yo, you have to out crazy that person. Like, yo, you live there. You know what I mean? Day to day, no matter what happens. Like, either A, you have to live there peaceably, and it seems as though that's not possible. Or B, you have to live there as the king of what the fuck you walk upon. You know what I mean? So if your kids is going to get into his fucking yard, whatever the case might be, you might as well make it on the level of where his kids can dig up his grass and fucking fuck his shit up. And he can't say nothing because he's scared shitless of what you're going to do.
Well, no, and to be honest, I was thinking the prick route, and I'm like, you know, I should just take my hatchet and go chop his fucking rose bush down.
No.
And just leave it in a goddamn heap.
It's about him. You have to do that to him, right? Like, yo, you got to make him so terrified of you that he's never going to approach you about bullshit again. So that when he kids fuck up and do something dumb, he comes and goes, yo, man, your kids did this. I got you, the kids. And he respects you. Because right now he sees your kids as a fucking annoyance.
Well, no, and the fact where he's talking about my kids, well, you son of a bitch. First off, his wife's out fucking who knows who. And he doesn't have his kids living with him at all. So you want to call me a bad parent? Well, dude, look in the mirror, brother.
You need to move to the white trash no state, my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, support the white trash no state. And I mean, where this shit will not be a goddamn issue. And we will accept your kids as our offspring, you know what I mean, in the future generations of motherfucking people that need to be happening.
Oh, God damn it.
Like, I've noticed this a lot, man. Like, yo, people hate children. They really do, man. They hate people who have kids and children in general.
What
I've
is
been,
up with that? I mean, really, I
man,
don't get that. I
yo,
don't
it's
get
the
that.
same people who hate driving. It's a West Coast thing, and like it's a yuppie thing.
Oh, West Side motherfucker.
Yo, look here, nigga. I'm East Coast, all right. I'm Appalachian,
well,
East Coast, motherfucker. Like, yo, it's
West Side,
fucking almost
motherfucking West
5 a.m.
Side.
in the morning here right now.
Yeah, it's only 1:43. I'm still doing good.
Yeah, but people
But
hate
I'm saying,
kids, man. They do. They hate that shit. They see them as an annoyance. They don't want to live around anybody who has kids. They don't want that fucking problem. You know?
well, isn't that bullshit? Aren't they
It
just being
is like
self-absorbed?
kids are like
And
what? Yeah, I've been turned out for apartments for that shit. Like, oh, you have kids, yeah, we can't have you around here. You know, what I mean, the people around here don't want you to fucking have your kids around.
yeah, that's a bunch of horse shit. Fuck you. I mean, at that point, I'd be pissed. I mean, straight up.
I hear you, dude. I hear you completely. It's fucking bullshit and it's nonsense. As I said, what would happen if that was a black person who was approaching that dude? Yo, you gotta out crazy that motherfucker. You know what I mean? You gotta you gotta put him in his motherfucking place and stay on your square. I'm like, look here, man. Who the fuck is you, number one? But number two, right? Here's the situation. My kids is out here playing and learning and doing what it is that they do. Who do you think the future leaders of this country is gonna be? You want to be the piece of shit that turns them into a fucking social justice warrior, you fucking cornball? Nah, I mean, like, yo, stop being a fucking bitch. You need to be that motherfucker, man. Fucking hold your goddamn ground and be the person you're supposed to be.
Well, no, and that's what I told my wife is like, this motherfucker comes at me again. I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to beat his fucking head in. And that's just the way it's going to be because this is 3 times now. One, he came on my fucking porch because this little girl lied to him and said I was being a dick and she was pretend crying. And he threatened to rip me off my porch. And I looked at him and said, I'm like, really, dude? You're 5'6", 165 pounds. You're gonna rip me off my porch? And he walked away. The second time was he talked to my wife and was degrading towards her. And you don't do that. That's my wife. And fuck you. I'll fucking wig the fuck out. That's my old lady. You don't mess with her. The third strike was tonight when he came at me. So, motherfucker is out of strikes. I'm done. I'm going to whoop the motherfucker's ass. Next time I see his scrawny little 150-pound fucking motherfucking ass.
How big are you, nigga?
I am 6 feet tall, about 245, 250.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm 6 foot, 250 myself, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you
play the game with me, my brother.
Motherfucker.
Like, hold up. Here's what I'll do for you, my brother. Right here. Here's what I'll do for you, my brother. Right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, come get it. Come get a nigga like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, come catch this right here. Come catch this fucking ass whooping. You gonna get what the fuck it is you paid for.
Doesn't matter how big you are. It's the fucking size of the drop bear you're packing, son.
Oh, goddamn, it's a fuck yo. I love Australians. Y'all niggas is awesome, home. I miss my boy, bro. Fucking
Nah, he's a paid actor.
He's a what?
No,
Yeah. I'm a government paid shill. I just don't know which government it is. Is it the British government or the American government?
Well, Australia doesn't exist, so we know it's not the Australian government.
But I'm also a CIA paid shill just to fuck with 9/11 truthers heads too. So.
Well, fair enough. But Dave, dude, I was thinking about you the other day. I bought
thanks a lot. I'm sure that was very helpful.
No,
It
really.
helped him finish. It did help him finish.
No.
God, I hope not.
No, wait a minute. Oh, ha.
So what you're saying, Mad Dodge?
I bought a collection of 15 comic books on a bidding site.
Okay.
And and I was going through them, and I was like, I don't know shit about comic books. Who should I get a hold of? And you popped in my head.
Well, I don't know shit about comic books either. I just know what's good.
Well, fair enough. I'm gonna give my son the Batman comics because that's what he likes. But I do have a couple put away that look like they might.
Look here, bro. There are 3 people watching the stream right now. There are 6 people in here. Niggas, go in there and watch the goddamn. Just open it the fuck up and turn it the fuck off so you don't have to hear it or whatever the case might be. You know,
I am watching it live.
What's
I'm
that?
not. I have headphones.
I am watching it live. This is a spectator sport. This fight.
Yes, it is.
That's what the fuck I'm saying. It's a goddamn spectator sport. You're trying to get your goddamn name out there. You know what I mean? Like everybody talks about with me. Like, bro, look, you're not gonna be at 500 subs forever. You understand it's a short-lived thing at the moment. I said, I understand this, you know what I mean, but I got to keep doing what the fuck it is I'm doing at the second. Like, yo, I got to keep fucking grinding.
Oh God, I have to say this, and I don't care if I start beef. Yo, you from Brooklyn?
No, I'm from Pennsylvania.
Okay, I was way off. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to.
My family's from New Jersey and West Virginia.
Okay, see, you can tell that a Midwesterner does not have any clue about that area, which is why I think, yeah, he sounds like he's from Brooklyn. Hey, man, don't be insulting me. Okay, fair enough.
Hey, man, get the fuck out of here with that fucking. Go give me a fucking calzone and a couple of fucking things. Hey, go talk to that fucking guy over there about that fucking thing at the fucking moment. Don't tell me about that fucking shit. You know that fucking guy with the thing about the thing? Yeah, go get that fucking dude.
I swear to God, you were on The Sopranos. I'm just saying.
Hey, what do you call an Italian with his hands in his pockets?
What's that?
Speechless.
A Democrat.
A mute.
You gotta give me the hands. Yo, you want to insult an Italian when you meet him? Just go like this and call him a Metagon.
Jesus.
Hey, what do you call an Italian with both his hands in the air?
What's that?
Waiting for World War III.
I was going to say a Frenchman, but whatever.
That is rough.
Close enough. Yeah. Common Sense Guy, how are you doing this morning? I think it's morning over in the UK. Yeah, how are you doing, man?
What time zone you in, Common Sense Guy?
It's just come up to about 9:30, so it's not too bad.
So
we've had a sleep. Yeah, we've had our sleep. Yeah.
I work third shift, and this is my night off, so it's normal for me to be up this late.
That's where I'm at too, dude. It's about 5 o'clock in the fucking morning over here, and it's my night off, so I'm fucking rocking and rolling. I done killed a goddamn 12-pack and shit. I just got done having like a 4-hour conversation about fucking a dog.
Enough about my ex-wife.
Nah, like yo, they were like for $1 million, would you fuck a dog? And I'm like, yeah.
I don't think you could convince me to fuck Hillary Clinton for $1 million.
Yo,
the thing is, Pinoy defended that shit to the death, and I gotta give him credit. I heard that shit. I was listening.
I went hard in the paint. Yo, I was like, I don't give a fuck, nigga. $1 million? You talking about $1 million? Like, yo, that's $1 million fucking dollars. Like, yo, $1 million. Like, yo, that's fucking 6 zeros, nigga. My kids ain't gotta worry about going to college. You know what I mean? I ain't gotta never worry about groceries or electric bills. I'm fucking good on my mortgage. Like, house is straight, cars paid off. Like, $1 million? Yeah, I'll fuck a dog. Get the fuck out of here, nigga. Like, the fuck is you talking about?
What kind of dog?
Not that matters.
They never brought that up. It was just, you'd fuck a dog.
See, it could have been a Democrat. It could have been Hillary Clinton. It could have been any of those people.
I don't care. Like, yo, for $1 million, for $1 million, what would you do with, like, other than chopping it off, would you fuck? Was there anything you wouldn't fuck for $1 million?
Well, it kind of does matter. I mean, like with what kind of dog you'd fuck, because if you said Chihuahua, that'll actually tell us a lot more about you than you want to know.
Yeah, I'm not talking about like my dick won't fit into a Chihuahua, right? I'm like pit bull and beyond. You know what I'm saying? Like pit bull is kind of where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like,
you like it dangerous, do you?
Nah, just something big enough, and they got to be like knocked out so I don't get bit.
All right, what about a kangaroo? Would you fuck one of those?
Again, $1 million, as long as it's unconscious, I don't give a fuck.
God damn it. As long as it's fucking knocked out. You got the chloroform ready. You're like, hey, kangaroo, come here.
Okay. Here's another story from back in the army, right? You always used to know when Norforce and or the Pilbara Regiment used to be at Singleton. They're both units that are completely populated by Aboriginals, right? You know when they're in Singleton because the dead roos are on their side in the morning, and by the evening they're on their backs with the legs straight.
Oh, was I the only one who found that funny?
Must be.
No,
Sorry,
no.
I'm trying to breathe right now. I apologize. I had a lot of beer. The past like 5-6 hours. Like I'm fucked up at the moment.
Oh,
I'm
still drinking beer. Come on now.
Skull a full one.
Yo, I done crushed like 15 bottles so far. I'm okay right now. Is where I'm at a second.
Chug another one.
I'm working on it right now, man. I'm fucking like, yo, my belly's like, no more, nigga, no more. You had enough.
Well, no, and that is the thing, though. That's how a lot of people think, you know, with your accent, you know, how you talk on your videos with the avatar and stuff. That would be why they think you are black. Because I did for a second. I was like, wait a minute.
How
Is this guy
how
black?
would you say he's black? I heard him for like 20 seconds before he showed his face, and I thought the white dude was from Brooklyn or Queens, and I said, no, man, I'm from New Jersey.
that's where you get
Fair
to.
enough.
And he's Italian. Come on.
God damn it, dude.
Yeah,
I
you're on the
didn't
West
say
Coast.
anything about comic books, man. Like,
You're on the West Coast. Like, you don't understand how the East Coast works. Like,
I'm in the Midwest. I know exactly how the West and East Coast work. They try to tell us what to do, and it don't work because we feed all your dumbasses.
Man, look here.
He was talking to me, though.
I'm from Pennsylvania.
Oh, shit. Okay, my bad.
I live in the
I'm only
Appalachian
slightly
Mountains. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we feed the rest of Pennsylvania. I got you. Like, I live right next to
that's
Hershey.
true. That's true. You guys do.
Okay, so back to the whole fucked up neighbors thing. I had this one guy a few years ago. Okay, so my family, we put up a fucking steel sheet fence, separate our house from the house next door. This motherfucker's getting kicked out, and I shit you not, I'll wake up to hear this motherfucker trying to rip the fucking metal sheets off of my fucking fence.
God damn it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. When you put steel sheets up, those also make a sound barrier, don't they?
Yeah.
Right? And so
Yeah,
the guy's trying to tear off your metal sheet fencing because
Because he's a goddamn tweaker. He wanted to cash in the fucking metal. I bet you anything.
that sounds about right.
The motherfucker was actually cooking this shit. The motherfucker was actually cooking this shit in the fucking house.
I fucking told you.
Yeah, you called it.
I win that.
You should have thrown a couple copper pipes at him and got him off your fence.
I came out with the fuck. One sec.
Yeah, I got a good neighbour story for you. My new neighbours, young couple, hot wife. They just filmed a porno the other night. Of course, they don't know it yet.
Wait.
Yeah,
Womp womp.
I came out with this motherfucker. I walked out the fucking door with this motherfucker, walked around the fucking corner. That motherfucker looked at me and I said, get the fuck off my fence. That motherfucker shot back in the fucking house.
Well, yeah, that's a hatchet. You know, nobody wants to be Bloody Mary's, victim number 3.
This is a fucking axe.
Well, that looked like a hatchet to me looking at it. But anyway, I digress. Really, though, I do have a shitty neighbor. He is a son of a bitch. And that is what I started to stream about, is a bitch about him. But now we got some new people in here. So,
I wanted to finish that off real quick. Sorry to interrupt, but when I was listening to you guys were consistently saying you're going to go whoop his ass. You know, the thing about having dumbass bad neighbors is, and I have a few of them, you don't try to outwit them. You don't even try to out power play them. You outthink them. I mean, you got to make them basically undo themselves by being the dumbasses that they are. You know, I'm sorry. I know that sometimes that the violent approach or the whoop them upside the head approach is the most viable solution. However, it's not going to save you in the long run, especially if you ain't got fucking Johnny Cochran in your corner that you can afford to pay the legal fees, which is where that $1 million would probably come in, by the way, for fucking that dog.
Isn't it? Hang on a minute. All right, so
God damn it. Okay.
All right. So all right, check this shit out, right? I had this young Jamaican neighbor, right? You know what I mean? And he used to come over and hang out all the time, whatever. You know what I mean? And like he thought he was like hot shit or whatever. And like he thought I was like some like old fat dude, like chair growing out the back of my motherfucking head. You know what I mean? Like I was just lazy and not doing shit or whatever the case might have been. And he came up and shook my hand in one day, and I threw the shoulder into him and laid him across the fucking room. Right? And he got up, he goes, okay, tall piece, you getting it in, all right, bro. Right? Like, yo, sometimes you have to check a motherfucker and let him know that you ain't fucking bullshitting.
Yes, that's very true. However, if you're having repeat instances with a neighbor, like in the case of Mad Dodge, you have to let them undo themselves. You have to do all the long walk paperwork type shit. You got to make them look bad because and I'm not saying play the victim. I'm saying you bust their ass for this shit. You make notes of everything. You say what was said, who was said, why was said. You turn that shit in.
You're dragging a dude with the gun into a situation that you don't.
Well, no, I understand what Dave's saying. He's saying exactly what my wife said. She's like, I got a hold of the landlord. You didn't yell, right? You didn't freak out. I'm like, no, I did not. I played it cool. I called him a cunt, but I played it cool as I can be. And he threw our property and he acted like a dick. She's like, okay, I told the landlord. Because we own the house, but we don't own the land. You know what I mean? We are in a park. We are in a community. So I have to deal with this other bullshit.
See, now your ass is covered. Your wife was on the spot. Now your ass is covered. So if he gets stupid, you have the option to get stupid to an extent and say, hey man, I already warned you about this. The landlord knew, the police knew, everybody knew that you're being an ass. So now you try to strike me. Well, now I got to knock you out. Boom. Your ass is legally covered. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, why don't you just have a real conversation with the dude?
I tried. He doesn't listen to logic. Right now he's separated from his wife and he's having a hard time. So he's
but that's not your problem. Yeah, see, that's it's not your problem. That's his problem. His problem is he done fucked up. He's trying to take it out on everybody else. He's trying to say, "Oh, my life sucks." Blah, blah, blah. Everybody's life sucks on some level, but you don't see us going out and taking it out on people. He needs to fucking grow up.
I got the perfect solution for you. Just go and get a
Australia.
Well, I'm saying, bro. Look here.
We'll let fucking Mick Taylor deal with the cunt. But no, what you can do is get a wireless fucking Bluetooth speaker, right? Stick it under his trailer, and then go and start playing Muslim fucking Arabic fucking prayer chants at the high volumes and shit, and then call fucking bloody the fucking feds and shit. And say, hey, I think we got fucking Bin Laden over the fucking fence here. Come grab him. So when they pull up, just keep playing Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, and then they'll fucking.
That's a good thing you don't get monetized. You'd be demonetized right now, man.
I'm saying.
Sorry. The political correct version of that, Alan Snack Bar.
Send him over to the Church of Jesus Christ is not a bitch made nigga. You know what I'm saying? And like,
we found Jesus.
Yo, send him over to the Church of Jesus Christ is not a bitch made nigga, and we will slap the bitch out of that motherfucker. You know what I mean? And send him back to you a whole new man with a whole new goddamn plan. For fuck's sake, you know what I'm saying? We will say the pimp's prayer over him. We will slap the bitch out of his goddamn body, and life will be easier for the both of you moving forward, knowing that you have a bond of knowing that Jesus Christ is not a bitch made nigga. God damn it, for fuck's sake. Amen. This is Tom Peace with Church of Jesus Christ is not a bitch made nigga. This is the way things are supposed to be.
I like you, dude.
If churches approached it in this manner, like nobody would have any more problems with them that they have right now. Like atheists would not be so goddamn mad about shit.
I'm pretty sure the little boys would still have a fucking problem with the church.
No, they would not. There would be no pastors raping little kids in my church. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but it's not your church; it's God's church.
No, it's my church. I run that motherfucker.
Still God's
I'm
church.
in charge and I take responsibility because I'm a man. And that's what men do. We take responsibility for the individuals around us.
You got to listen to Dennis Leary's Lock and Load.
No, wait a minute, though. No, wait a minute. Yeah. I want to play off of that. Men take responsibility. Yes. Men take responsibility. So, when a dude is picking up somebody else's, like his neighbor's property and throwing it across the yard and freaking the fuck out, how exactly is that taking responsibility for your own actions?
First off, I want to say the Lord's Prayer over you. I want to say the pimp's prayer over you. You know what I'm saying? And slap the bitch out your body. You know what I'm saying? For playing a victim about somebody touching your shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not playing a victim. What I'm saying,
this nigga the fuck out. Lord, please pray for the soul of this nigga. Guide my pimp hand and make it strong, Lord, so that he may not be a bitch made motherfucker no more. Amen. In the fucking pimp's prayer, we motherfucking hold holy. God damn it. Look here. All right. I understand that this dude done touch your shit. You need to touch your kid's shit. All right. But here's the deal. You didn't stand here and fucking check this nigga the way you should have. And you should have checked this motherfucker from the goddamn gate. There should be nobody around you who is not motherfucking terrified of you.
Or you could do this. Ezekiel 25:17, son.
There we go. Hold up. Hang on. I'll get mine.
Oh, and for anybody, no, it is not real. Hang on.
Mad Dodge.
We're not allowed to have the real ones here, boys and girls.
Mad Dodge, very, very quickly, mate, before everybody jumps back on. The fact is that you didn't attack him or didn't respond to him is an absolute amazing thing, mate. Because if you would have done, and the police were called,
it fucking goes. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it goddamn.
No, real quick, I want to hear what Colin said.
You know what I'm saying?
But if it did go to that way where you two threw hands or you two checked each other or whatever, it's a case of you've got more to lose than what he has, mate. Because if you two were found fighting and there wasn't a reason why, you both would have had charges brought up against you, which means you would have had a chance of losing your kids as well for criminality.
Which is why
for being violent.
Yeah, no, that's why I held myself in check, is because of my children.
I know that, mate. I know that.
And I don't, and like I told my wife, I don't put up with this shit. I don't like living here. I don't like the fucking neighbors. I don't like the bullshit. And they keep coming at me. Dude, I don't talk to these people, all right? Dave, do I even talk to you on Twitter? Not really. I don't talk to anybody, man. I leave everybody alone.
And no, I haven't seen you on Twitter in ages, to be honest.
Yeah, see? But I get this bullshit at my front door. I don't fuck with you. If I don't fuck with you, then why are you fucking with me? At that point, we have a fucking issue right off the goddamn bat.
Well, the thing is, Mad Dodge, some people do not know what it means to be neighborly, which oftentimes means you can get along with a person, they can be your neighbor, but you never really take it past the boundary of acquaintances as opposed to actual interaction on social level, an everyday thing like friends or comrades or coworkers or superiors or at work or whatnot. See, and people don't want those boundaries. They think everybody has to stick their nose in everybody's business, which is not always the case. They don't know what it means not to do that anymore.
Yeah, and that's a goddamn problem to me. And that's what I was telling my wife. I'm like, I'm fucking done. I'm going to go punch him in the nose. And she's like, oh, no, don't do that. And I'm like, son of a bitch. Like, I got mad at my wife. I'm like,
I can understand that. Yeah, but you can understand that. The thing is, though, you've got people that are so down in their lives that are looking for a reason to try and pick on people. And the thing is, he's tried to pick on you. Then now, normally, if you were a single man on your own, I would be exactly the same as every other motherfucker on here. Go and punch him in the fucking nose. But the thing is, you've got a fucking home, you've got a wife, you've got your kids. You've got more shit to fucking lose than any other wanker out there. You've got to put your head on before you put your fist through him. Because if you hit him first, you're the one who's getting done for it. not the other way around, unfortunately.
Yeah, don't give the prick the satisfaction.
Oh, but I'd feel so good after. God damn it! Just that one hit would be nice, but no, that's why I didn't do it. You know what I did? While he's yelling at me, calling me a drunk piece of shit, I can't take care of my kids, and blah blah blah. I picked up what he threw and I carried it back to my yard and I set it next to my house, and then I walked inside. I mean, that's what I did.
So, Mad Dodge, the whole beginning of this issue was the fact that your kids left some toys on his lawn, right?
I can see where you're going.
I'm being serious.
No. And the lawn is split in half. It's half mine.
Well,
and that's why.
Point is,
no, let him finish. Matt Dodge, let him finish. He's going to make an extremely funny point. Let him finish.
My point was, kids put stuff everywhere anyway. I mean, what's to get pissed off about?
Ah, see, I thought you were going to say, why did he throw your shit on his side of the lawn?
No, I was going to leave that one for you because I knew that's where you were going.
Well, Dodge, if it's all about toys and shit, well, the next time he has a fucking sook, go throw your wife's toy at him and say, go fuck yourself.
There you go. That's what I was leading up to.
Tag him in the head with a goddamn dildo. That'd be great.
Well, yeah, send him a bag of dicks.
Oh, hold on. Instead of just a bag of dicks, buy him a Moby Dick and have it shipped to his fucking front porch with a letter that says, go fuck yourself. And if none of you know what a Moby Dick is, it's about a 3-foot fucking dildo.
I actually know a bloke who can help you out. There's a subscriber of mine, the something or other bug lord. He's in Indonesia, and he was lamenting that because he couldn't get back into Australia, he had to go and work in a sex toy factory. And I joked with him and said, "Well, since immigration won't let you in here, why don't you go work in that factory and send them a bunch of fucking dildos and tell them to go fuck themselves? He might be able to help you out there." Endless supply of dildos.
Well, do you know what would have actually hurt him even more than rather just saying, go fuck yourself? Send him the dildos and going, isn't this what your wife's using now?
Send a bunch of really small ones and say, yeah, this is still bigger than what your wife's getting from you.
Well, no, and that's the thing, though. I think that's what he's so mad about is him and his wife have been separated for a little bit. And I think that's what he's really mad about. But he's literally yelling at me, right, at the top of his lungs. The neighbors are whispering to each other. I'm looking at him, okay? I see it. And I'm like, dude, you're screaming. I'm not. You're acting like a jackass.
I would have had your wife whip out the cell phone and record all that shit. I mean, one of the things that you can do is if this guy's going to go off on you and act like an ass, I mean, just record all that shit and say, you know what, this is what we had to put up with. And then he can get pissed off about it, and everybody else is going to say, yeah, dude, you're an idiot. And he's going to realize he's the bad guy. I mean, I'm sorry that he's having problems, but, if that was in my neighborhood, everybody be pulling out their cell phones, recording the shit, and emasculating this idiot.
Well, here's another one. An insult you can throw at him. You go, hey, you're just fucking pissed off that every time you go dogging, every cunt calls the cops on you.
Is he trying to get that £1 million?
Well, no, and the funny thing is, you want to talk about calling the cops. Him and his wife have fought many times, and I don't call the cops on anybody ever. I ignore it.
No sympathy for her because they get the choice. She chose him. She chose him.
The thing is, though, have I woken up at 3 a.m. and heard them fighting? Yeah, I have. Did I call the cops? No, I didn't. Now he wants to call me a drunk piece of shit who can't even raise his kids or control his wife. And, really, dude, your wife isn't here. She's out fucking some other dude. And
I was just about to say something along those lines, mate. I was just about to say something along those lines. Why didn't you literally just say to him, look, at least my wife and my children are still with me. Go fucking back in your trailer, drink your shit to fucking oblivion, fucking leave me alone.
You should have just given him $20 for an 18-pack of whatever and let him poison himself.
God damn it.
Hey,
I wouldn't waste the money.
I got this giant yellow vial.
That's never a waste of money to watch somebody poison themselves, especially if they don't deserve to live.
Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah, I got this giant yellow vial downstairs. You can give him the drink. It's full of strychnine.
Oh, lovely. I'm not sure if that would be classed as a terrorism act, though.
Well, maybe where you're at.
It's only terrorism if he's scared while he's doing it.
True.
Well, no, and Bradley in the chat says my woman was slacking. Well, she wasn't here when that happened. I did give her a call and tell her as she was headed down I-5 back home. But no.
Mad Dodge, where are you at, by the way?
The Cascades. I'm up in the Cascade Mountains in Oregon.
He's high.
See, all you've got to do is get him some bendy straws and report him to the authorities.
No, I'm not in California.
Well, Oregon's next. Oregon and Washington are next. You know that.
It better not be.
Here's another one. Yeah, here's another one. Go to a methadone clinic and get a whole bunch of hypodermics and just scatter them around his place.
God damn it! You're a horrible person, but I like
or go find your nearest coke dealer, buy 2 kilos, plant one in his truck and one in his house.
I would need 3 because I would like a kilo.
Or find a corrupt police officer, pay him to plant the evidence, and there you go.
Yeah,
so much less paperwork.
Yeah, don't just plant it. Make sure you spray a bit around too, because that fucking gets everywhere, and you won't be able to get all of it.
Yeah.
Why instead of doing all that type of shit, why don't you just go to a Travelers or a Parky site and then just ask them to go and fucking destroy his fucking shit for about $1,000 to $5,000? He will not come anywhere near you afterwards, and there'll be no trace to it coming back to you at all from the police.
No, you're right. I need to get hold of Voice of One. He knows all about the Pikeys.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
What the fuck is a pikey?
Romanian traveler is probably the best way of explaining it to Americans.
Gypsy,
yeah.
vagrant, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I got another idea. Go hire the movie Wolf Creek, and then next time he fucking gives you shit, put me on the fucking phone. Because I tell you what, man, I'm fucking a hell of a lot like I can. You know what I mean?
No, just live stream the shit so we can all watch.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And tell him, hey, man, while you're being a cock knocker, why don't you go to YouTube real quick and check this out, and then he can totally see what's going on.
Yeah, he can see everybody telling him he's a cunt.
Pretty much.
That'd be great.
Basically, yeah.
Worldwide emasculation is wonders.
Yep.
Yeah, he can be called a cunt in 4 different accents.
Yeah, it'd be great.
And from 3 different continents.
You go, hey, look, watch this. The 4 corners of the world have joined together just to call you a fucking cunt, you cunt. Listen, cunt.
You don't even have to watch out for the drop bears, all right? Like, we don't even care anymore. You're just a cunt.
Sending you a drop bear, mate, and he'll make sure you end up with a cunt.
No, we don't want him to end up with a cunt, because that means he would actually be happy again. Fuck's sake, that's not what this stream's about.
Yeah, well, we shouldn't really be calling him a cunt in the first place, because cunts are useful.
Exactly.
Yeah, true. True.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I'm married to
if you really want to insult a man, just call him a local politician. They're fucking worthless.
Yeah, that's true. That's fucking true.
Call him Hillary.
Well, that's why I said local politician, because if you actually name him a local politician that's worthless, that's probably the biggest insult you can get, because that's really, A, they're not going to really know what you're talking about, and B, they may think you're referring to some bigwig in Capitol Hill, and then that's going to set them off on a course of thinking political shit, which they obviously are outgunned and outnumbered and have no fucking clue what they're talking about, because you've just, again, outsmarted them.
It'd be fucking funny if he did do the political thing and he started going on about the fucking evil shadow lizard government, fucking Illuminati, fucking
and
Zionist
that's
crap.
when you put him on YouTube Live.
And that's when you get all the subs, and then eventually you make some super chat money from it.
Yes. See, we're very helpful in conflict resolution that does not involve you going to jail. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. That's actually good advice. I would prefer to not go to jail. But, okay. The thing is, you don't want to be Seth rich, but you want to give up some info on the Clintons. How exactly do you go about it, Dave? I mean,
what the fuck are you asking me for?
So your neighbor goes
because you're here. That's why.
Because I'm here. Reason. I don't fucking know. I don't have that particular problem. If I really wanted to get anybody I'm in Iowa. We have ways to bury people under the cornfield that you don't even know about yet.
Yeah, Children of the Corn. I've seen the movie, but
not what I was referring to. But okay,
it's a good movie.
It was a good movie.
Ways to make people disappear in Iowa. I mean, we've got soybeans, we got soybean fields, we got corn fields, we've got pig troughs and slops and cows and all sorts of cattle that just eat about anything. Do you really think that we need to go all GTA and shit, put somebody in a trunk and throw it off a cliff? No.
Fuck, man, that's just too much effort. We got animals that you just put them in the nearest proximity with them; they'll do the work for you.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got nothing. We've got nothing in England. We can't do that.
No. You gotta remember, you don't have guns. You don't have guns, and you may be almost knifeless to butter your toast and biscuits, but you still have straws.
No.
We still have pigs. We still have pigs. We can feed them to the pigs. It's fine.
The Brits have Brian Blessed. Say no more.
He's just going to scream at you. He's just going to scream at you. That's the only thing.
And that's enough to make you shit bricks until you're in the seventh circle of fucking hell.
Maybe, but it's not going to get rid of the body, though.
Essentially the Obama family barbecue, but
Aww.
What the fuck is a drop bear?
Oh, you want to know what a drop bear is?
A drop bear is a really, really pissed off version of a koala that makes no sound until you're right underneath them, and then they jump on your head and bite your neck off.
Nice. Yeah. Everything in Australia does want to kill you.
Pretty much.
You don't want to fuck with the drop bears, all right? They're totally fucked, and I totally believe in them. I'm just saying.
That does not give it any credence, Mad Dog. That does not give any credence to it. I believe in it, but just don't ask me what else I believe in.
Yeah. God damn it. Shut up, Colin Sense guys. Shut up.
As for koalas themselves, they actually do have a venereal disease. I can't remember. It's not
chlamydia.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so, and it was really funny because it was one of the members of One Direction when they came out here. You reckon you caught chlamydia off a fucking koala? We were like, yeah, sure, son. Yeah, I'd stick to that story too if I were you.
Oh yeah, I totally caught chlamydia off a koala. Yeah, you probably stuck your dick in it.
Yeah.
If you really want to hurt the man, if you really want to make him sick beyond repair, just send him to a Hollywood casting agency. I'm sure they've got no problems getting him taken care of.
Oh yeah, they'll take care of him. They'll definitely take care of him.
Harvey Weinstein's not there anymore.
Doesn't matter.
You think it stops with Harvey Weinstein, really?
Put him in Matt Lauer's office.
Oh, yeah.
Just let him hang out with James Gunn for an hour.
Why an hour? He only needs 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's, he's got to make up some excuse to think of not getting fired from another movie.
True. Does it come from Rick and Morty? The one that was fucking the kid doll?
That's Dan Harmon.
Yeah. Yeah, dress him up as a baby doll and throw him in the same room.
Just dress him up as Pickle Rick. I'm Pickle Rick.
I hate that show.
I don't really get into modern animation. I mean, I'm at the age where my kid's in the Air Force and all that shit, so I don't really have time to watch cartoons. But I've seen some pretty good stupid shit, and I'm like, how do you consider this stuff entertainment? Well, you just don't get it. You're old. And I said, yeah, no shit. I'm glad. I mean, you'd be lucky to make it to my age. Like, what are you, 50? I said, no, you dick. I'm 43. But how would you know? You can't count anyhow.
Has anyone checked out Beavis and Butthead lately? I mean, like, how fucking tame is that?
Oh, it's tame compared back to the 90s when it was out.
Oh, yeah. It's like they even had to make up their own swear words because they couldn't even allude to saying, like, shit or fuck or anything. I was like, you dillweed. I think the worst thing they ever said was like, Beavis, your mom's a whore. No, she's not. She's a slut. Whores get paid.
Well, see, that's kind of the thing with Mike Judge. He allowed them to do that, and it's one. And I'm not going to bash Mike Judge. I think he's done some funny stuff, but I think bringing Beavis and Butthead back into the modern era is probably the dumbest thing since George Lucas selling Star Wars to Disney.
Yeah.
I don't know on that one. I think George Lucas made a shit ton of money on that, and now people are not going to dog on George Lucas
It doesn't matter that he made $4 billion and gave a large portion of it to charity to avoid taxes. It's the fact that when he created Star Wars, he said, well, I don't want to become part of this system. And blah, blah, blah. He became exactly that which he hated, and he could have given his franchise to any company, and they would have ran it better than what Disney has allowed it to become. So when people say they hate the new Star Wars movies, and they don't like this, they don't like that, I said, you can bitch at these people all you want, but I don't hear you bitching at George Lucas for selling out in the first place.
Well, he could have done worse. He could have sold it to Sony.
Oh, fuck me. I've been worse.
I honestly think Sony probably would have done a better job.
No, they would have rebooted it with fucking all females. They would have made episode 4, 5, and 6, and Luke would be Lucinda.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to remember the one good part of that. Lucinda would still be kissing Leia.
I still don't care. No. The story is the best part.
No, Leia would be Chris Hemsworth playing a fucking himbo again.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I just came back.
He apparently missed everything that we just talked about, so let's not repeat it.
Well, no,
you're gonna have to go back and watch your own damn video.
No, I'm wondering, can we talk about something that actually worked? YouTube did Cobra Kai, and that actually fucking worked.
Well, that's YouTube Red. That's a paid service.
But are you arguing that it didn't work?
No, I thought it was actually really well done. I think it's great. The problem is, and I'm not going to go into the whole spiel about this. I think that they did Johnny just fine because Johnny would still act the way a lot of us act. Like, what are you, some kind of sissy? You can't defend yourself. And every 5 seconds, it was the Karate Kid that's kind of turned into the pussy. If you think about it.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what,
I liked that. I liked how it was the Cobra guy that was really the star. I really liked that. I liked how they played off of that, and it was really fucking great.
Well, that's also
that show.
That's also playing off another YouTube video where they did a sort of like a documentary style thing of like the original movie where it was actually Daniel's son was an asshole and he almost caused a car accident. And he was picking on fucking.
Yeah. He was the asshole.
No, you know what the whole
like,
kick
he is a dick.
You know what the whole kick of the first movie is Daniel cheated.
Yeah, you're not allowed to kick anybody to the face.
Yeah,
it
it even said in the initial rules that you can hit here, and you can't hit to the face. He did a crane kick to his face. Like, dude, that's cheating. And when I first saw that, even as a kid, when I was like 10 or 11, I said, that dude fucking cheated. And my dad's like, what are you talking about? I said, the ref just said you can't kick him to the face or hit him in the face. He goes, yeah. And I go, he just kicked him in the face. He fucking cheated. Johnny should have won. And my dad's like, well, fuck this. We're getting our money back. And I never heard my dad say that until, he doesn't swear, but he said it when I pointed that out in the middle of the theater and says, fuck this. We're getting our money back. I said, I've never heard you cuss. He said, I just worked a 16-hour day, goddammit. I'm tired. I want my fucking money back. Okay.
I like their dad. Their dad is awesome.
My dad is very mellow, but when you work a 16-hour day at back then, which was the first or second furniture production company in the world, Han Industries, you get kind of fucking tired, and you want to watch a movie and you want to enjoy it, and you want your kid to enjoy it. But when your kid points out the fallacy in the movie logic, he's like, "Fuck this! I want to go." He doesn't want to put up with anybody's bullshit. That's why we got our money back and we fucking went home.
Well, fucking Iron Eagle must have sucked for you then.
Huh?
No,
the first time they showed a MiG and it was actually a Phantom, and you're like, what the fuck? They're not MiGs, they're Phantoms. What the fuck?
I totally forgot about it until I actually never watched The Karate Kid after that. Not because it was bad, it's because I had other shit to do, And then, like a couple years ago, I found the No More Kings Sweep the Leg video, and I said, oh my god, Karate Kid, that motherfucker cheated. And it's like, thanks. I'd forgotten that for 20 years.
God damn. The fucking drop bears, right? You know what I'm saying?
You know, I like the bit in that thing where, like, you know, you fucking put you put the hose over the fucking dunny and, you know, wrecked his fucking joint, and then he runs outside and fucking causes a car accident there, and he caused a multi-car accident and all this kind of stuff. That's criminal damage. Like, hey, actually, yeah, fuck, he did that too, hey. And they just glossed over that.
Yeah.
Glossed over.
Yeah, the first movie wasn't particularly well sound. I like the second and the third.
The third one goes to Japan and fucking annoys the shit out of a bunch of Japanese people.
Well, he goes to Okinawa. He goes to
was that
Okinawa.
the next Karate Kid where they go to a monastery and she annoys the fuck out of a bunch of people?
And then there was the new Karate Kid where bloody Will Smith's little shit goes and annoys the fuck out of the rest of the world.
Oh, you know, and that's actually Chinese kung fu, by the way. That's not karate.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that. That one.
Well, see, now you guys know exactly how I am when you say, "Hey, did you see the Bay Transformer? What are you talking about?" Oh, the Transformers! Exactly. We don't acknowledge that. It's like, you know, you don't. There's three things in this world you don't acknowledge if you're an old school '80s kid like me. You don't acknowledge the Bay Transformers, which they do not exist. You do not acknowledge Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation. I have no clue what that show's about anyway. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah,
and you do not acknowledge some dumbass lesbian reimagining herself as one of the characters from She-Ra.
Oh,
no. I would agree with all that.
We don't acknowledge that either, but I wasn't paying attention to that. So
But I got one question for you, Daniel. How do you feel about the Transformers, the movie?
Well,
The
my name's...
cartoon one.
I was going to say, who are you talking to? Me, because my name's Dade, not Daniel.
Whatever, fuck you, cunt.
Are you talking about the one from 1986?
Yeah.
No, he's talking about...
that's actually... Well, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That actually fills the gaps between season 2 and 3 of the cartoon. It's supposed to. It's a massive, cheap toy, commercial. It's a 90-minute toy commercial. But when the fuck didn't we have toy commercials back in the 80s that were 90 minutes long?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That's right.
Goddamn,
Are you telling me to get a Shamu? Are you telling me to get one of those towels, Dade? Is that what's going on? like wipe on, wipe off. I mean, god damn it.
You mean a chamois?
Yeah,
whatever. Your joke fell way through. I don't know anybody in the Karate Kid movie that was taking a massive 600-pound whale and rubbing it against the car, wax on, wax off, something, let alone the laws of physics.
And speaking of 80s cartoons, man, you got to go back and listen to the beginning of He-Man again. Like it is the gayest sounding fucking thing on the planet. When I held aloft my magic sword.
I'm sure you did hold aloft your magic sword.
No, leave He-Man alone. I love that show.
Here's the thing about He-Man. It was actually a product of the 1970s that started with an early 80s toy line, and only then did Filmation get the copyrights to make the cartoon. So everybody's, and I love everybody saying, well, there's gay connotations in He-Man. I said, yeah, oh my God, oh yeah, that's why he ends up with Tila. No, whatever. And it's like, oh, you can't dispute the last fact that the very last scene is him learning a lesson about, responsibility, accidentally, quote unquote, killing somebody, which almost resulted in Tila's death, and then she ends up in his arms, and they almost make out, and right off into the sunset. Sorry, I really didn't give a shit then. I really don't give a shit now. I just love picking at people saying, well, He-Man's gay. I don't give a shit. There have been gay people long before that cartoon came out.
I didn't say that He-Man was gay, so I just said the first bit sounded like the gayest fucking thing you'd ever heard nowadays.
Oh, 80s music is terrible. I mean, it's retro. I mean, every generation thinks their music's the greatest, but, being an 80s kid, I look back and I was thinking, Jesus fucking Christ, what were we wearing back then? And my daughter would be like, God, you guys dress like idiots. And I said, oh, yeah. And then I whip out the, yeah, this is what you were wearing in 1997, sweetie. Oh, shut up, Dad.
Yeah, it's true. We all wear stupid fucking shit throughout the most of our lives.
Exactly. And we always have rose-colored glasses thinking it's hot shit, but,
Yep.
It's really cool diarrhea in a cup in the long run.
Camouflage gear is timeless.
True.
Just like camouflage condoms, they'll never see you coming.
Oh dear. Well, I don't even understand why people laughed at that. Don't get me wrong, it was a good pun. But it's just
there were two coppers, Captain Dick and Captain Condom. They were at a bank heist and fucking they're out there and they're like taking hostages and shit. And Captain Dick says to Captain Condom, "Cover me, I'm going in."
Yay!
Womp womp.
Right, I'm going to throw a spanner in the works. Thundercats.
Oh yeah.
Well, that was
don't get me started on the whole Thundercats war.
Honestly, I think I've never really had a problem with reboots because I think the problem recently is that the art styles have been lazy. Because you've got to remember, in 2002 we had the He-Man reboot, which was pretty damn good. It just ended up fizzing out because they couldn't write stories for shit.
I call bullshit on that.
That's fine. You can call bullshit on that all you want. I thought it was pretty decent. I thought it had some good stuff. And then we had the 2011 Thundercats reboot. It still had better artwork than what's currently being produced. Ever since Steven Universe came out, that fucking lazy-ass art style has been mimicked repetitively. That's why things get pissed on. It's not necessarily because a person doesn't have writing skill or they can't tell a story. It's because they're using certain types of animation that are fucking lazy.
I still want to fuck the original Chitara.
Well, who doesn't?
Apparently for some reason everybody does.
well, the great thing about being in a modern age is you can actually go take $1,500 American dollars if you live in America. You can go buy a sex doll and you can cosplay her all you want, and you're happy. And nobody ever has to know you lived the dream without getting busted for bestiality.
Mate, you sound like you've done this before. You sound like you've done this before. You've gone into detail really heavily. It sounds like you've done this before.
Yeah, except she looks like Tila.
I'm totally imagining Bundy without having to kill people. He just has this, sex doll or sex bot. Whatever you want to call it.
No, see, if I had a sex bot, then she'd look like RC from Transformers, but we're not going to talk about that.
Wait a minute. How can we not talk about that? I think that's important.
Well, that is the most important news of the day. If we're going to have sex bots, do we want to make them look like Transformers and have sex with them? Never mind the problem with so-called North Korea here and the nuclear missiles. Sex bots, will we make them look like 80s icons and fuck their brains out?
Yes, we will, because we're human.
Take a poll, so to speak.
Yes, we will, because we're human.
Yes.
I'm waiting for the one that comes out looking like Betty Rubble.
You know what kills me is they tried to manufacture, and I'm not talking a sex blow-up doll, but a blow-up doll of Jessica Rabbit, but they canceled it because people thought that's what it was going to be used for. And let's be honest, guys back in the 80s, they probably wanted to bang Jessica Rabbit. I don't care who, but
let's be honest, if anybody saw it today, most people would go, yeah, all right, yeah, I can use her tits for a wank.
Yep.
It's okay. Yeah, it's all
she's just animated. It's not like I'm hurting her feelings or anything.
Well, if you are a real kid from the 90s, you would have spent hours and hours and hours trying to fucking pause that one. So she would have the cunt.
No, I'll be honest. All right. I stole the first Playboy magazine I ever read from my stepdad. And it did have Drew Barrymore in it. And yeah, I do have a crush on Drew Barrymore even to this day. So yeah.
I remember when I was a kid.
You're doing a lot better than me, because my dad for the longest time thought I was gay until he found out that the first Playboy I ever read had Madonna in it. Look how she turned out.
Oh God.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, you should have went with Drew Barrymore.
And I had to explain to my daughter. My daughter was like, "Is it true Grandpa thought you were gay once?" I said, "Yeah," but then he found out that I had the Playboy with Madonna in it, and she goes, "Madonna, really?" I said, "Yeah, just imagine. You probably wouldn't have been born if it wasn't for that Playboy issue." And she goes, "Well, considering how Madonna is these days, I wish maybe I shouldn't have been born." Yeah, she burned my ass pretty good on that one, and my dad heard about that, and he just couldn't stop fucking laughing.
I got something to say. You guys are fucking lucky. I had to go out to the fucking woods to find my first Playboy.
Man, like you should have been in Sydney, man. Should have been in Sydney, man. Like when I was a kid back in the 80s, man, fucking it used to be fucking everywhere. You go for a ride on your bike, you go through an industrial estate, and it'd just be a pile of fucking porn just sitting there. Like, oh, fucking yeah.
Well, you remember when you could actually go to, with the exception of grocery stores, you could go into about every outlet that sold books, and they'd be brown bagged. There would be no problem. Now, not because of the age of the internet, but because of bullshit like the PMRC and other uptight liberal cock-knocking hypocrites. They're like, oh, that's inappropriate. You shouldn't be able to see that. I said, and what the fuck do you think they're teaching our kids in schools, you dipshit? You think a Playboy is considered offensive? You know,
and it's still like news agents here. You can still go in there and they're fucking wrapped and they've got a video with them and everything. Fucking
yeah. A lot of places in the Midwest especially don't have those anymore because stores have been sold because the people have retired and therefore they're not readily available. And then and people say, oh, that's perverted. It's like, bitch, don't even tell me that's perverted because you fucking kids that grew up on the internet, you don't know how difficult it was to find this shit, especially when you didn't want to look at your best friend's sister without worrying about getting your black eye,
Well,
God damn it.
If you ever want to go and see like porn fucking heaven and all this kind of stuff, go to Canberra in New South Wales. And a suburb of Canberra called Fishwick. It's like the porn distribution centre of the southern fucking hemisphere, man. Every second fucking factory is like a place that's got nothing but fucking porn mags, porn movies, fucking stripper heels, fucking naughty fucking nurses gear, fucking you name it, they've fucking got it, and that's where they distribute it to the rest of the country. In fact, when the In fact, when the Canberra fires were on, we lost 500 houses in the space of 2 days, and all the New South Wales Rural Fire Service was worried about was saving fucking Fishwick.
Well, I'm sure they did.
I'm about done putting up with my kids. I'm gonna run away. So New South Wales sounds good. Is there a room for rent?
Oh, there's tons of them.
You can take the missus too. She's not going to be embarrassed.
Yeah, we've got hotels and shit here, man.
Yeah, I'm sure they got a little something for everybody except for your neighbor because he's got a little something for himself.
My neighbor can kick his fucking own ass. Like, fuck him. But no, okay. So, common sense guy, you're here hanging out. Tommy Robinson is free.
Yeah.
How is that not a good thing? What's gonna happen next? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. I guess that one's to me. It depends. Tommy Robinson on the way out when he was speaking to Sky News, or should I say, shouting at Sky News, telling them that they're all wankers and don't tell the truth. He kind of let slip that he's got a lot to say. So I presume that he's going to carry on doing what he was doing beforehand and try and blow the lid on whatever he was trying to blow the lid on before he went. And as the innuendo can be kind of misconstrued on what I just said there, I meant the stories.
Yeah, the Rotherham rape gangs.
Yeah, well, there's a tons more that haven't been reported. I think there's in the roundabout the 60s to 70s different places that have all got similar rape gangs in them.
Well, the thing is, it's like, okay, my neighbor's a dick, right? I go over there and I rip out his fucking rose bush, and I throw it on his porch, and I call him fucking cunt. That's not going to really work out. You know what I mean?
No, it's not going to work out for you at all, mate. Yeah, it's not going to work out at all.
I've got a bit of a solution to the rape gangs in England. You can reach out to one of the other colonies, which is New Zealand, and get a shit ton of fucking Maoris over there and fill them with piss. They'll fuck all the muzzos off for you.
Oh, that's just disgusting.
What, you want them?
No, well, I don't know. It's just the idea of piss dribbling out. It's just,
What?
Do you have a bunch of huge tires over there? Is that what's going on? Yeah, somebody got the joke. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought somebody did because it just went right over my head.
Now you get a
lot of things go right over your head, don't they?
Dude, I'm not a short person. I'm 6 feet tall even, so not a lot of things go over my head.
Lies.
I wasn't
You're
going.
5'11". No.
Don't tell anybody I'm only 5'2", you fucker.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not trying to give away your fucking secrets. My bad. No.
Nah, he's actually 4 foot even. Perfect height to rest your beer on.
You know what? Actually,
only if it's German beer. That domestic shit don't fly over here. The fucking piss water.
Well, we're just bullshitting, talking shit.
No,
Dave.
I did want to ask before you hold your train of thought, Mad Dodge, because I wanted to ask Common Sense Guy. Did you see that Sticks Hexenhammer video about Tommy Robinson about why he got let go because of basically the judge called bullshit on the whole circumstance?
I didn't see the video, but no, I've already read different reports, and basically, yeah, all the reports have basically said that because of misprocedures, the fact that they arrested him for something and then said it was something else completely destroys the reason why he went to court. So they completely fucked up.
Yeah, I did put the link in the side. It's old hat news for you, but if you want to give it a check out.
Yeah, sure. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Go ahead, Mad Dodge. You were asking me a question.
Yeah, no, I'm wondering. Okay, so let everything go. What exactly do you consider the right of the? Well, God damn it!
What do I? What do I consider?
No,
what?
No, I'm done. Like these assholes are assholes. Yeah. Hey, farting people. Do you have something you want to talk about, you sons of bitches?
No, you were asking me a question. When do you consider the what? Like,
okay.
When to smack somebody down? Is that what you're asking me? Like, okay, well, in your particular situation, everything that I said stands. I would say, however, the second that a person, and you should always know your town, state, and state, and local laws in regards to what is considered reasonable and lethal force for defense. Like if somebody puts their hands on you, like if they poke you in the chest, swat them away, say, hey man, knock it off, give them 1 or 2 warnings, and then if they decide to take it further, then restrain them, tie them up to something, call the police, have them dragged away. If it's to the fact that they're going to try to kill you, yes, then completely floor them and remove an arm. And I don't mean take it all the way off. I mean dislocate a shoulder, break a kneecap, punch somebody right in, and this will really, believe me, this does work. Punch them right in the hip, not the nuts because that's overrated, but hit them in that soft little hip area where your leg connects. And you'd be surprised how fast a person goes down. But you've got to know your local city and state laws for this kind of thing, because the police can say, well, he poked you and you hit him, why aren't you both going to jail? Well, this is what's considered reasonable and deadly force. You have a right to defend yourself. It's not a stand your ground law, it's reasonable deadly force. If somebody comes at you with one thing, you can do a certain thing. If they bump it up a notch, you can do another certain things. If they come at you with a knife, you technically, depending on where you live, could whip out a gun and say, yep, fuck you, you're done. Boom. And it's all good. But to reiterate for the last time, you've got to know your city and state laws for defense.
Well, no, that's fair enough. If you look at where I'm standing, I have warned him 3 times already.
First you had him arrested for trespass.
Yeah,
that should have been enough.
I don't call the cops. I sold weed for 10 years, dude. I sold weed for 10 years.
I know. You've reported it to the landlord, and you can say, hey, man, if you don't knock it off, I got you for trespassing. If you've got signs that say no trespassing, no loitering, it's over. You don't even have to call the police. Your landlord can do it. Anybody else can do it. You say, hey, man, there's signs clearly that say do not trespass. Do not, loiter. I mean, once they do that, after they've been given fair warning, it doesn't matter. There are things you have to do for the sanctity of your own peace of mind as well as your family. And those 2 things do go hand in hand, because if you're not thinking straight, it affects your family. If your family's not taken care of, you're not going to be thinking straight. There's only so much you can be nice with the person before you unfortunately have to get mean and nasty.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree.
That's all I'm sorry, but I wasn't there, so that's all I could. That's the only advice I could tell you.
No, and I totally agree. Actually,
the only thing I can advise you on, Dodge, is what I said to you before on that last time. Yeah, you're having a big whinge about that other bloke. It's like you got to fight smarter and not harder, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, and that's where my wife came in and told me to calm the fuck down because I was like, you know what? I've about had enough. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna beat the fuck out of this guy, and that's what I'm gonna do. And she talked me down. So I do appreciate my wife.
Well, that's good. There's nothing wrong with the initial thought of I'm going to go smack him down because that's what guys do. That's our position in life. That's our role is to be the protector, be the defender, basically not put any bullshit. But a wife's job, a good wife's job, is to basically say, you know, sweetie, I know you really want to go kick his ass, but I prefer you not to have a heart attack before you say, 60. So calm your ass down. So calm your tits. Yeah, she's trying to save your life and a lawsuit and a loss of a lot of money.
Well, no, and you're right. Like, that is how my wife was. Is like, no, you can't do this. One will probably, be kicked out of the park. And then we have to drag this fucking shitty trailer somewhere else. And also, honey, you're not as young as you once was. I'm not 25 anymore.
Well, that might be if you're basically paying lot rent, which you own your trailer and you're paying lot rent, which is what it sounds like. Why not fucking move?
That's what I told her. I want to, but she likes it here.
I'm sure she does. But you know what? It's like when I have friends that have little kids, they are moving because they get better jobs, and the little kids freak the fuck out. I don't want to leave. All my friends are here, and I'm like, your parents are getting a better paying job to make sure that you have an education, clothes on you, food, and a roof over your head. And they're like, yeah. And I go, how do you know you're not going to make new friends somewhere else? I don't want to move, blah, blah, blah. And then they kowtow and give in to their little brat kids. And I'm like thinking, and then you bitch about not making better money or doing the things you want to do because you weren't willing to basically pick up your kid by the shirt tail and say, hey, you know what? We've got to move. Tough shit. Get over it.
And I'm not saying that about your wife.
Yeah, exactly. When I'm not saying this about your wife, I'm just simply saying if your wife is a very logical person, you say to her, sweetie, here's the pros and cons of this. Sit down and talk about this stuff. This is simple between you and your wife stuff, and odds are she can say, this is a benefit here as opposed to a detriment. But if this is going to happen with this person, if you guys are going to keep having repeat incidences where it bothers your wife and the kids, pick your shit up and move. Fuck these guys. Pay lot rent somewhere else, or lot rent somewhere else.
Yeah, I hear you. Absolutely. Common sense guy. Okay. Tommy was freed. We did a stream earlier on your channel. I also did the red eye, and now we're on, my extra late stream. But I mean, really, man. Do you think that he got what he deserved?
No. No.
No.
The reason why I don't think he got what he deserved is because he didn't deserve anything in the first place. First of all, he was asking police outside of Leeds Crown Court if it was okay for him to film there, if it was okay for him to do what he was doing. Did he need to go across the road to film what he was doing across the road? So on and so forth. It then comes to a point of a judge that was presiding over a particular case that saw Tommy, that has a disdain for Tommy, that then phoned the police and got him arrested for contempt of court. It was then that same judge that then actually sentenced him to 10 months imprisonment for contempt of court and a 3 months extra sentencing on the case of a prior offence that happened as well. The thing is, this all happened without Tommy's actual solicitor, without Tommy even actually being in the courtroom to begin with. And that's the reason why the procedures were all broken, why everything was completely and utterly done on a case of discrimination, rather a case of it being proper justice or anything else like that. That's the reason why Tommy Robinson is able to get out. And the reason why so many people said that, no, this is not to do with him breaking the law on this occasion. It's a case of he has been targeted politically for it.
Well, no, I totally agree. Anybody else want to pipe in real quick, though?
Lauren Southern, you want to know what she did out here?
Yeah, I'd like anything to know what Lauren Southern did.
Right, well, she went to the wrong part of Sydney for a start. She went to Lakemba, which we all call Leb Kemba because it's full of Lebanese.
Yeah.
Could have gone to a place called Tilapia Street, Bankstown, which is a place that anytime the police need to go there, they roll in with the fucking riot squad as a precaution. Yeah, try going down there dressed like that and fucking see how long she lasted. But anyway, she went to try and walk up to the Lebkemba Mosque, and confront some lebs out the muzzos out the front of there. And before she got anywhere near the joint, she was confronted by a high-ranking member of Campsie Police Station. Who,
wasn't it the chief?
Yeah, we don't really have like a chief. I can't really remember what rank he was, but he was a very, very high-ranking member.
Oh, commissioner. It was the commissioner for that police station, wasn't it?
Oh, it's not really commissioner either. Commissioner's like, the OC of the police department. But anyway, the police force.
Okay.
But anyway, he basically told her in no uncertain terms that it's absolutely perfectly safe and that there's no problems in anyone walking down there. But if she did, she'd be causing a public a disturbance of the peace, and then she'd be breaking the law and she would be arrested. To which she basically left the conversation with, "Thank you for admitting that there is Sharia law in Australia."
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much sounds like it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there are places in Sydney where there's basically a whole swathe of Sydney that's been cut in half by fucking Muslims. And, yeah, there are a few places there where it's a bit dicky to go into. Even for someone like me who doesn't give a fuck and would run the cunts over like crazy. And I'd love to drive down there with a fucking Pintle-mounted fucking 50 cal just cutting sick fucking everywhere, man. Fucking, I couldn't give a fuck. But but also too, she didn't sort of acknowledge the part where we've got the Sudanese crime gangs and all that kind of stuff. They're like, I've told you the story about Blacktown before, but it's now becoming a real massive problem in Melbourne, and it's sort of now we're looking at them going in Sydney, going, yeah, well, we had these Sudanese cunts well before you lot. So
yeah, true. I mean, Darren did a video on that, didn't he? About it's 1% of the population, but yet counts are over 4 to 5% of all crime in the whole of Australia. That's disproportionately fucking exceptionally high.
Yeah.
And don't they account for something along the lines of 60 to 70% of all home invasions and home break-ins?
Pretty well much. And if your kids ever have a party, especially in like Melbourne, in Victoria, if your kids have a party, you can guarantee that it's gonna get gate crashed by up to a dozen fucking blackfellas from Sudan. Yeah, not a problem. That shit never used to happen.
Yeah, multiculturalism, mate. Multiculturalism. Enjoy it.
But one white accountant shoots his 2 kids and then himself because his slapbag missus was going to fuck him over for 5 years in the courts and he had nothing left to lose. Oh, we've all got to ban guns. But hang on, we fucking did that already. Oh, never mind the fact that in the last 4 weeks we've had something along the lines of 55 fucking stabbings and no one wants to fucking say anything about that. But all men are evil. All men are evil, and fucking all women are fucking idiots, and you can't fucking tell them that because they still think that they can walk through dark parks in the middle of the fucking night and think that, oh, nothing should happen to them. Well, just because you can doesn't mean you fucking should. And there was this up-and-coming feminist comedian. I'm surprised Baring done a backflip on this one because I was thinking he was going to come out and fucking well, it was probably because she was a fuckwit feminist, but but she got beaten to death.
Fuck.
So what are we going to do now? Ban fucking fists?
Yes, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Ban assault wrappings.
But never mind the fact though that Eurydice Dixon walked through a very, very big dark park in the middle of the fucking night where there was no fucking lights whatsoever and got her ass raped and beaten to shit.
Yeah. See, that's exactly what I was going to pick up on. Is the fact that women think that men can walk through those type of parks and not be affected by anything. Yeah, fair enough. Maybe we wouldn't be raped. Doesn't mean we're not going to get fucking beaten the shit out of and mugged and fucking killed or stabbed.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
I remember there's a suburb out in the western parts of Sydney called Tregear. And that's in the wild, wild west. And it's me and the mate, Henry Vecchio, he's dead now. But we were set upon by a group of about 20 people, had the absolute shit kicked out of us one night. So just because we can doesn't mean we should. And even though we're both in the army at the time, and we had the fuck kicked out of us.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though. It doesn't matter how big or how strong one person is. If you come up against 10, 15, 20 people, you ain't really got a fucking chance in hell. Let's be honest.
At least gotten a couple of good hits in.
Yeah. Oh, I even lashed onto some cunt's leg and bit a chunk out of it too.
Good. Fucking well, eh?
That was the point where some other arsehole went and smashed a beer bottle over my head.
Yeah. They probably realised you were turning into a rabid animal. They needed to put you down. But no, I do love that fact about people that do say that, especially feminists, when they try and compare apples to pears, and it's a case of, no, you're trying to compare us to you, but yet we still wouldn't do that either. We wouldn't walk through a park. Like in certain big cities, you wouldn't go through an underground in the middle of fucking midnight because you know there's fucking homeless people and fucking other people down there that are going to try and rob you. You just don't go certain places.
And then we've got this stupid fucking idiot green bitch in Parliament called Sarah Hanson-Young, or we call her Sarah Pants Down Bum. She decided in Parliament, she said that women wouldn't need fucking pepper spray if men would stop raping. And then this other politician from the other I think it's David Lynham, I think his name is, sang out to it, well, how's about you stop sleeping with men? To which she took offence to that and thought that he called her a dirty fucking slutbag. And, well, it's just come out now that it turns out that she's very real renowned for rooting lots and lots of men. That sort of makes her a slut.
Yep, and I have to go on Bering on this one because Bering's where I get all of my news from Australia. Probably a little bit biased, but it's where I get my news from. He did a video on that where it's a case of she's now using her 11-year-old daughter to try and go, look how moral and virtuous I am. But my 11-year-old daughter knows that I like to suck a lot of dick.
So the fact that she has a kid is scary.
Yeah,
I'm being serious.
I honestly thought this Sheila was a fucking lesbian because she's one of these fucking really ugly-looking fat Sheilas who I thought, well, who the fuck would want to root that thing? But the daughter does say a lot on who her father is, and I don't think it's all the bloke she's got to worry about. Could you see those two dirty, great, big fucking Bugs Bunny-looking fucking teeth on that fucking bitch with that dirty, great, big gap in between? She fucked a rabbit. She was fucked by a bloody rabbit. So she's not just into fucking bloke, she's into fucking bestiality too, the dirty bitch.
God damn.
A fact of the matter is when women open, I have an ex-wife and I have a daughter who's in the Air Force. One of the things I taught my daughter is your mom and dad are not always going to be around. We only live on this planet for a certain amount of time. Even when you grow up and you're 18, it's like get your ass a job. By the time you're 16, you're out of the house when you're 18. A lot of people don't do that these days. I'm sorry, but I take after my parents. And what I told my daughter is, you are not going to be around people all the time. You may be by yourself sometime. What if some guy that's like 3 times your height and your weight tries to basically rape you? And she goes, well, I'm going to kill him. I say, well, how are you going to do that? And she had no answer. Well, now that she's been in the Air Force for about 3 years, I said, what are you going to do if some guy, I posed the same question. She goes, I'm just going to punch them right in the throat and they're dead. And I said, is that all? She goes, no, obviously that's my first choice, but I know realistically. And then she would go on all these tangibles about how to disarm somebody. And I said, well, what if they got a gun? She goes, I'm faster than they are. I'm going to try to run. I said, okay, fair enough. I mean, you can't always win, but you can always try to do your best. The problem is parents are not teaching their kids these days to basically have survival skills in what-if situations because, like I said, let's be honest, you can't win them all. And if something were to happen, it happens, but damned if you can't try.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of parents don't want to teach their kids stuff like that because they want to teach their kids that everybody's equal, and they're buying into this point of we don't need first, second, and third, and there's no competition.
Well, the biggest
the what ifs. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry,
the what if scenarios that you're trying to produce as well, with today's logic, so to speak. You can't put those what-if scenarios in because you're going to use a black man as a robber. You're going to use a Muslim as a terrorist. You're going to use this as that and blah, 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 and everything's racist.
Yeah, they can make everything racist all they want, but the truth of the matter is, common sense guy, is that the second that a person admits that there's no such thing as equality because we are not born equal, I don't give a shit what your religious preference is. That's the reality is that we are not born equal. That they've got nothing, and that's why they get pissed off, and then they try to derail the situation. When you instill within your child that nobody is equal, not because one is better than the other, it's because we all have different experiences and we can only view life through our own eyes, that's when your child realizes, oh, I better get my head out of my ass and grow the fuck up.
Yes, I agree with you completely and utterly on that. Completely and utterly on that. It's the case of most of the kids that have had the problems nowadays, it solely falls on the parents and buying into this fucking racist fucking shit that carries on. You can't sue this, you can't do that because it's racist, and it hurts the idea of my child can't come first, so we should all get first or we should all get last. It's just no, we need competition. We need that. We need people to realize that you're not going to be great at everything. You're not going to be good at running the fucking mile or whatever.
Well, part of the problem with teaching, having your kid learn that, oh, my child can't come first is, well, you shouldn't let them hang around Catholic priests.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. I definitely can't complain about that one. They definitely shouldn't be around Catholic priests at that point.
Yeah. Fucking, it's just like, I just hate fucking a lot of parents nowadays too. Is how they just seem to think that just because they did their biological fucking natural duty, that somehow makes them more smart and have more common sense, and they're up on a fucking pedestal and shit. And they don't seem to realise that I know that every fucking parent out there doesn't have a handbook, and they haven't been taught all the tricks, and they're only fucking thumbing through the fucking world themselves, and they make all the fucking same mistakes as everybody else, and a lot of them make a hell of a lot more because they don't fucking learn.
Yep, completely not true.
And take driving for example. Like there was a lot of young kids getting killed on the roads here, and the parents are like, well, everybody else has got to do something about that. Well, hang on, you're their primary instructor. How's about you fucking do your job properly?
Or how about the fact of no matter what training that you give somebody, if they decide that they're going to overtake on the fucking blind bend, there's not too much that you can fucking do about that.
That's true too. But also too, don't give them a fucking high performance car as their first vehicle. That's another one.
True. Yeah.
But it's everybody else's fault that little Johnny was doing 150 and 110 zone.
Yeah, it definitely was society's fault. After all, it should be 150 zone. No, I hate the fact that people always try to go, oh, there's something wrong with society. Well, how comes everybody else can fucking live within society, but yeah, the person you're talking about somehow managed to fall out of it? Maybe there's a problem with that person, not society.
The benefit of my life is that I've always been on the outside of society. I've been the one that sort of looks over it, and as a soldier and a firefighter and all that kind of stuff, I'm the one that's there to fix up everybody else's fuck ups. And it's kind of like, well, okay, if it's easy enough for me to do that, then why can't everybody else?
Because people always look for people to blame. The good thing about the army and the services, like you said that you're in and that, or have been in, it's a case of you learn that you are personally responsible. Where nowadays we don't learn we're personally responsible. We rely on the state.
Yeah, that's another fucking thing that's shitting me too, is that no cunt can do their fucking job properly, and everybody's predisposed to covering their asses. Instead of spending the time to do it right the first time, no, we'll spend all the time finding all the fucking excuses and the ways out of it because we know we're going to fuck it up. Well, just fucking learn it.
Well, I'm a Darwinist. I believe to a certain extent that people need to either prosper or suffer. And if you can't learn from the one to gain the other, you don't deserve to be around. I mean, let's be perfectly clear. So, and I'm not going on a political tangent here. There are sometimes people do need help from assistance, but that can only last so long. You've got to learn to basically survive on your own because in the long run, the assistance isn't going to be there.
Yep. No, I can absolutely vouch for that story. I become disabled around about a year and a half ago. I'm now going to college to retrain to become a counsellor or a psychotherapist. I'm now got 1 more year until I can become a counsellor in that aspect, and then I'm going to be off of my welfare because I don't want to be on welfare.
Well,
I want to work.
I need to be on a disability pension. I thought I paid into society for fucking all the help further down the track, which I'm now needing. And every cunt's just a fucking really insulting fuckboy, sort of like, oh, that's nice what you did. Go the fuck out and do some work until you're an absolute cripple. And then if I turn around and say, you ungrateful fucking cocksucker, well, then I'm the asshole.
But that's the way that society is. So people are polarized on the idea. You'll have some people that absolutely love the fact that you're on benefits, and you have some people that absolutely hate the idea of benefits in general. Because they hate the idea and they think that the benefit system is going to be a case of using taxes, which, according to Mad Dodge, taxation is theft. But that's the point, though. The reason why we do take tax, or why people do take tax in general, is when it's used properly. It's used to help people in our situation. It's only when people try to misuse it, that's when the problem is. And let's be honest, governments misuse it all the fucking time now.
Yeah, well, it's really fucking irritating when, like, there's my neighbour and his best mate who can work and aren't disabled, and they're both on disability pensions, and they have been for a good long while. And I've fucked myself up 7 ways from Sunday, fucking making sure that cunts like them get to sleep safe at night, and then now it's my turn, and they're like, oh, no, you didn't do enough to deserve that. Or what the fuck's with the neighbours? Oh, don't worry about them. You've got to fucking do this, that, and the other thing, and you're not bad enough. It's like, well, fucking, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I just want to fucking drag him over the counter and beat the ever-loving snot out of him. At least I'll get me satisfaction that way.
Yeah, but as we said to Mad Dodge, though, that's not going to help you in the long run.
Yeah, I know, but at least the next time I get arrested, it'll be for actually something I did do.
Yeah, there is that. There's nothing worse than being arrested for stuff that you haven't been arrested, that you haven't done. That kind of sucks.
Oh, no. Like, the last time I got arrested, it was for one fucking word, and it was one of the 6 words that I used once, and they completely edited out the fucking the several dozen words that I said several dozen times. And then also 2 out of those 6 words, they were in 3 different parts of the fucking conversation. So don't tell me the fucking bitch didn't know what I was on about. She listened hard enough to pick out the one word. And fucking, so she's lied to the cops. She's fucking provided a false statement. Now, because it's gone through court, she's now committed perjury. And no one gives a tuppenny fuck about that. I say one fucking word and I get crucified.
Yeah, which is the way that it is, mate. You know, words have power, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, well, I do have a way of fighting back, because the next time they need me, I won't be there. That might mean someone's life.
Yeah, there is that to it, mate. There is that to it, unfortunately. Okay, so people don't realise that when they start picking on people for their perceived outrage, and I'll use that word precisely, perceived outrage, it's a case of they don't realise that it affects other people the other way. If you're trying to say that somebody else has done something, well, what happens to the person that you're trying to say has done something? As you already said, she committed perjury and everything else like that. But nothing's going to happen to her. It's like these people that commit forced rape cases.
Yeah.
There was a woman that did a video on that said that she was gang raped by 7 to 9 people, and one of these people was arrested. But it's amazing that these people get away with all these sort of stuff just because they say that they've done something and they have a perceived victimhood. When you look at their story and they don't have a fucking victimhood, they're the ones that are inflicting victim status onto other people.
Yeah, well, that's where I'm fucking a real cynical cunt nowadays, and especially when some Shirley comes up and says, "Oh, I was raped." Well, I do say, "Well, what were you wearing? Where were you? Fucking how dark was it? How fucking inebriated were you? And how vulnerable did you put yourself into that position?" Oh, fucking how dare you say that? Because chances are you're full of fucking shit, and it usually turns out that they are.
Normally, yeah, exactly. Normally, we can only go on by averages, and by average, it is normally the case of most people that are raped are normally raped by somebody they know and they spend time with. Not trying to say that they deserved it or it's their fault, but it's a case of you knew the person, you felt creepy with them, but 9 times out of 10, it was a case of you still drank shit tons of drink with them.
I'll give you a classic case. There's the Scaff brothers, two fucking lebo cunts, and they had a group of about 8 or 10 other blokes that ended up joining in. And there's one of the victims, they didn't actually give them their names, they gave them like pseudonyms, like Woman X or something like that. And there was this one, you listen to this fucking story, and it literally went like this. This is X, we'll call her Sally. She was off on the way to her job interview because she's a nice, young, upstanding young girl, and she went there by train and paid for a ticket because she's a good little girl. And because she's a good little girl and she was well dressed, she got the job, and she was on her way home, and on the train once again paid for the ticket because remember, she's a good little girl and doesn't do anything wrong. And then while she was sitting on this train, she was approached by Bill Alscaff, who said, "You want to smoke some weed with me?" And, well, she was a good little girl, but his mesmerizing eyes made her go off and smoke weed, which was totally out of character for her, and she got fucked in a van for 18 fucking hours by 12 fucking blokes. Like, what the fuck? She was such a good little girl. Why was she off smoking weed with some fucking lebo cunt she only met?
Yeah. I mean, she obviously, we can all agree, obviously, she didn't deserve the rape, but you have to look at the reasons why it was leading up to that. If you don't know the person, why the fuck would you go to a van to fucking smoke weed in the first place? That's kind of sketchy. Even us men wouldn't fucking do that.
In a suburb that she was like gonna go nowhere near in her fucking life anyways, because like she was from a suburb 10 or 15 kilometers away from this joint, and she had absolutely no reason to go out to a place called Greenacre, which is also another part of Lebo land too.
I mean, a lot of people don't always look at the causations anymore. They just look at the outcome of what happened and go, "Oh, this is really bad." It's like, yeah, but you kind of have to have a look at the causations and the reasons why this has happened. I mean, we've been touching on rape gangs and things like that for fucking ages. And nobody wants to talk about the causations about what's happening about it and the reasons why Tommy Robinson's been put into prison and so on and so forth. But yet we want to talk about the stories that physically affect those people at that time, but not the causation. We forget about that nowadays. Nobody ever does anything about it.
Hey, guys, don't mean to interrupt, but I'm gonna head off to bed. I'll catch you guys around.
Cheers.
Toodle pip.
So here's a thing that I've noticed. I remember reading this back in school when they actually require you to read a little bit above your grade level. Now they pretty much want you to read 10 levels below what you're able to do. I remember being in 6th grade, and we actually read To Kill a Mockingbird. And there was a lot of things that we did edit out because, well, it was really just word choices. But it was basically the point of the rape trial in that entire book and why Atticus Finch was asked to defend who he was defending. And it basically, modern society in America especially, has basically become that exact scenario in regards to Kill a Mockingbird, about the rape trial. And if you know anything about that book, Atticus was consistently trying to fight illogical points with logic, which unfortunately backfired. And Jem and, they're just trying to figure out, well, why is Dad doing this? Why is Dad putting up with this for him? Blah, 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 blah. And we don't, we do get a clear answer, but it's basically the fact that ignorance and stupidity, and that people, in the case of To Kill a Mockingbird, it was the fact that the accused was a black man, and that the person that was doing the accusing was an ignorant white girl. And you got to remember that when this book was originally set in the South in the Depression times, that was more than enough to, hang a person, whether or not they be guilty or innocent. In fact, that was long before Miranda rights.
Yeah.
It just seems that modern society, especially with the advent of social media, that's what it's become. And a lot of us, not saying me, a lot of people try to do a little too much Atticus Finch and not enough Jem, because we can't be looking at things extremely logically or from an adult point of view. We need to take a step back, and I'm not saying regress. We need to take a step back and question things like a child would, because a lot of times when a child questions something and they ask you, you have to take a step back and say, "Oh, I didn't really think about it from that perspective." It seems people do not want perspective. They want to have their cake and eat it too, which never really works anymore.
Well, it never really worked in the first place. So there's no way that people can have their cake and eat it too. But I do agree with your premise on this. It is a case of society has absolutely changed to a point where. Go on.
Yeah, just on the heavy cake and eat it too. There's a lot of fat chicks out there that'll disagree with you.
Yeah, I suppose so.
You know what? That's why we have shirts that say "No fat chicks."
Yeah. That way we can use our logic to read the T-shirt and realize that there is not a fat chick wearing it. But no, I do actually agree with you, and I do actually think that it's a case of a lot of people nowadays don't actually. Well, not even nowadays, just in general, people don't look at what's going on. They look at it from their ideology, and they don't actually see what's in front of them. They don't step back, as you said. They don't step back at all. And I don't know. People just don't seem to actually use any sort of form of logic anymore. It's more of an emotional reaction. It's a trial by Twitter. Before anybody's even put up to actual physical trial in the judicial system, they're already guilty by fucking association and Twitter. Somebody gets called a racist or a paedophile on Twitter, that's it. They've lost their job. Whether they are or they aren't.
Yeah. Well, that's that whole thing with that fucking buddy Harvey Weinstein thing, where like, all these supposed powerful fucking women like Angelina Jolie, like well-established actresses and shit like that, they were too afraid to talk about this bloke and come out and say it. But who was the one that actually fucking was the first to come out? Was this no-name, nobody fucking Italian model?
Mm-hmm.
And she was nobody. She was no power, no fucking nothing, but she had the balls to come out and say it. But all these big ass fucking powerful women, well, yeah, that happened to me too. And fucking now we can come out and say it because we're all banding together. Well, what the fuck stopped you from doing that before? So that's where I lost interest with that case.
It's because they were getting paid. That's the reason why. It's because they were getting paid, and they thought that's the reason why the industry works the way it does. Don't try to change the industry from the way that it should be. Keep it the way that it is, because that's the way it's worked since the 1930s.
Yeah, but surely, with Angelina Jolie, though, surely with some of the powerful blokes that she's with as well, fucking surely they could have said something.
Depends if the powerful blokes took part in, doesn't it, mate? I mean, there's obviously lots of things that are going along with kid actors and actresses that nobody ever wants to fucking even talk about. I mean, a lot of people moan at people like Milo Yiannopoulos, which is fine. Everybody has an opinion on him, but they talk about the fact that he's a pedophile sympathizer or whatever, and it's a case of, okay, you've picked up on that part of the story, but what about the fact that he was telling people that in Hollywood they use tweakers all the time, or Twinkies, as they're called in Hollywood, the child people or young people that get invited to parties. Why isn't that being talked about? Isn't that more important than the fact that the way that Milo as a victim was trying to comprehend in his head that no, he was the one that was in control of a pedophilic relationship? Surely the most important part of that is, no, there's Twinkies that are being used in fucking the USA. Surely that's more important than how somebody deals with a relationship in their head.
Just with Milo, I still can't get over the fact that people are calling him a homophobic, racist, fucking anti-Semite when he's a gay black fucking Jew.
Yeah.
He's an openly gay man who's married, quote unquote, to a black guy. And it's like, dude, really? That's kind of like going up to Ronald McDonald and calling him a anti-clown, hate-mongering vegan.
Vegan, yeah. Yep. Definitely on that one.
Anyway, it's about 5:30 a.m. where I'm at. I have stuff to do today. Thank you for having me on, Mad Dodge. Common Sense Guy, good to see you again. Everybody have a great day, great night, wherever you are. I'm out of here.
See you later, mate. Take care. Mad Dodge, mate. I know that you're completely and utterly muted and everything after that. I mean, I'm sure me and the Australian guy, we can probably kick this on and probably talk for the whole fucking day. But this is your show, mate. What do you want to do?
I think he zonked out.
I think he might have died. I think he went out, tried to have a fight, and probably got knocked out. Oh, come on. That normally pisses you off enough to talk. Come on, Mad Dodge.
Wake up, Dodge.
See, the thing is, I know that if we leave, it's a case of he's going to have this running on for at least 8 hours while he's still got the computer on.
What's even worse is like if he's fallen asleep near the computer and he accidentally puts the mic back on and doesn't realize he's still recording it, or you just like, no, all you hear is click, click, click.
Yeah, I've got all this pent up aggression from testosterone. If I'm not allowed to fight him, I'm gonna have a fucking wank.
He's sitting there going, "Yeah, I'll make a special cup of coffee for my next door neighbour."
I'll add the cream to it. I'll add the cream.
Dodge, wake up! Fuck
yeah, come on, Dodge. Because I actually want to fuck off. I got shit to do today. but I don't want to leave your channel on its own, mate, because it will be a case of 8 hours later coming back to the channel going, why is this still on?
Yeah, my medication's kicking in. I've got to go to sleep sooner or else I'll fucking burn through it and be up all night.
No worries, mate. I'm going to get off anyway.
All right, mate. I'll catch you later.
No worries, mate. Thank you very much, man, Dodge. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming on. I'm going off. So thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.
See ya. Dodge. Dodge. Yeah, seriously. There you go.
I was muted. All right. Yeah, I'm still here.
Everyone's fucked off. I got to go too, man. My medication's kicking in.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We're going to wrap it up then. Have a good night, and we're out.